Hello everyone, welcome back to Dr. Chape. Today I'd like to share a case that turned out to be a bit more challenging than usual. The patient is a female in her late 30s. She presented with low back pain and right-sided radiating leg pain, which started suddenly after tweaking her back during a walk. Suspecting an L4-5 disc herniation, we proceeded with a right L5 transforaminal epidural steroid injection. As a routine, I always start by setting up a 30-degree oblique view. For this patient, the transverse process slope didn't look too steep, so I decided to proceed immediately without further C-arm adjustments. As I advanced the needle, it felt like it was heading a bit too low, so I subtly adjusted the needle tip trajectory upward. Since it's often hard to gauge the exact depth of the needle inside the patient's body, I checked an AP view at this point. Looking at the AP view, I realized I still had a long way to go, and the needle was still pointing too far downward, so I angled it upward once again. But this time, it went a bit too high, so I had to correct the trajectory back down. Throughout this process, I carefully advanced the needle while constantly checking with the patient to see if she felt any sharp, radiating sensations down her leg. At one point, the patient reported a sharp, tingling sensation in her leg. I slightly withdrew the needle, injected 1 cc of contrast medium, and took an AP view. Fearing that further advancement might damage the nerve root, I switched over to check the 30-degree oblique view. In scenarios like this, the best move is to retract the needle by more than 1 centimeter and re-advance it, steering slightly more laterally. However, on this attempt, the needle ended up too lateral to the nerve root, so I pulled back once more and targeted a slightly more medial path. Finally, the needle made contact with the posterior wall of the L5 vertebral body. Thankfully, we managed to avoid any direct irritation to the L5 nerve root during the process. Next, I injected 2 cc's of contrast and took a C-arm shot. I verified the placement with both AP and lateral views, confirming that the contrast medium was beautifully spreading into the anterior epidural space. Once confirmed, I administered the prepared mixture of lidocaine and steroids. In today's case, we covered the know-how of utilizing the oblique view to precisely navigate deep into the space while safely avoiding the nerve root. If you found this case helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.